I'm a big fan of your work, and I wanted to jump backwards a little bit just because I'm a huge fan of time travel, which leads me to talking about Peggy Sue Got Married. So I just wanted to know, I'm a big fan of that movie. Can you share what it was like working with Nick Cage and Coppola back then, making that film?
Well, and Coppola, was really, really interesting. He never had a leading lady before, so I don't think he knew quite what the hell to do with me. But we had 4 weeks of rehearsal before we ever started filming, which to me is brilliant. Saves so much time once you get down to actually shooting. Nick I think this was his first film, and he was, he wanted to prove himself, make sure that everybody understood that this was not nepotistic casting. So he was a little tough at times I thought, on Coppola, resisting. The most fascinating thing to me, time travel wise, was how to portray, physically a 16-year-old and a 42-year-old when I was neither. Yeah. And it's all in the body, it's all in what she doesn't yet know that you have to figure out. And I just love those kind of puzzles.
Your work in that film is fantastic. It's just it's one of those guilty pleasures for me. When it comes on, I need to watch. Something else I wanted to ask you about, you had worked with Zemeckis on Romancing the Stone, and I'm curious what it was like when he pitched you doing Jessica Rabbit. Were you sort of like, wait, what is this character?
No, I thought he did fill me in on what he was doing, i.e., actually melding, live action with animation, which had never really been done before, yeah, and probably will never be done again that way because it was brilliantly, but expensive. He kept me abreast of the whole process, which I thought was fantastic. Also, at the time, I was extremely pregnant, so I wasn't going on camera. So this was absolutely perfect for me.
That's great. What was I think that movie is beyond brilliant and will never be repeated because you had characters from different studios in one movie. What was your reaction when you finally saw the finished film and the character you were playing? The reaction to the character.
Well, I loved it. I loved the film. I loved it was absolutely brilliant. Come on, every part of it and the process. I love Bob Hoskins so much. I really miss him. And Jessica herself, well, when we were putting the voice in, because that's one of the last steps, right? You kind of leave the whole figure, but leave the mouth and everything vague until I can record. But I really had fun. I would say things like, okay, Bob, she's got these huge boobs. What do you say we throw in some and have them bounce? Yeah. And he thought that was a pretty good idea.
That's great. Listen, I could talk to you for the entire time just about that, but I need to jump in. Listen, I'm a big fan of Kominsky Method because, listen, all the performances are great, but I think it's Chuck Lorre's writing which elevates this to another level. And I'm just curious because he deals with subject matter that no other show really, so many shows avoid. Can you sort of talk about Chuck's writing and what you love about it?
Oh, I absolutely agree with you that Chuck's writing is extraordinary. First of all, it's so actor friendly. I mean, there's almost nothing that he writes that I can't, that isn't easy for an actor to understand, to get into, to personify. The fact that he tackles a lot of the things that he does, I mean, including some of his other shows, right? Addiction and I admire him. I admire him for this. And when he called me to talk about doing this third season, and he described that the character Roz would come back to be part of their daughter's wedding and everything, and and she would have to interact, of course, greatly with Sandy, and that they would find common ground, that they would sort of remember why they were attracted to each other all those years ago, and they get past the anger and the bitterness. And I loved that. I said, my God, Chuck, you're writing adults.
100%. One of the things that Michael told me last season was that Chuck was writing each episode as you guys were filming to sort of react to what he was seeing right in front of him. Was he doing that again this season? And what was that like?
No, not really. In that, we had all 5 scripts sort of right at the beginning. Oh, yes, he would adjust. He would, when something took off, an idea or suddenly became, very powerful, very attractive, he would expand on that. Yeah. But no, we had the material right from the beginning. And the thing that was extraordinary to me was the fact that he wrote every word. This was not a committee. This was not, a writing group with inconsistencies and different voices. This was just one. It was great.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure talking with you this morning. I hope everything stays well with you.
Thank you very much.